I was still holding the pie when my father told me not to come home again. It was warm, pumpkin her favorite. I baked it the night before using Mom's old recipe, the one with extra nutmeg and that weird half-teaspoon of maple syrup she always insisted on. I drove 3 hours in fog to bring it to her like I did every year. It was Thanksgiving. I was home. Or I thought I was. We hadn't even said grace yet. The turkey hadn't been carved. The stuffing was steaming in the crystal dish my mother only brought out once a year. And I was still standing, still smiling, still holding that pie when Dad said, "Give back the $50,000, Rachel. Or, don't bother coming home again." At first I thought I'd misheard him, or that it was some kind of tasteless joke. Dad wasn't a man prone to theatrics, and Thanksgiving wasn't a time for drama, not in our family, or at least not until that night, but no one laughed. Lisa sat across the table, hands folded in her lap like she was at a funeral. David looked at the tablecloth. Even Mom, sweet, soft-spoken Mom, refused to meet my eyes. I didn't sit down. I couldn't. The pie tray rested in my palms, suddenly heavier than it should have been. I glanced at it stupidly as if it could explain what was happening. "Excuse me," I said. Dad's jaw tightened. "Don't make this harder than it has to be. What exactly are you accusing me of?" Lisa finally looked up. Her eyes were red mascara clinging to the corners like she'd been crying for hours, but her voice was clear. "Mom's account. $50,000 disappeared last month, right after you helped her set up online banking." My mouth opened but no sound came out. It was true that I'd helped Mom with her accounts. She'd been nervous about going paperless, something about not trusting the cloud. So I'd sat with her on a Sunday afternoon, walked her through the app, the passwords, the security questions. She even wrote everything down in a little notepad we kept in the kitchen drawer. That was 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks. Now they were telling me that was the moment I stole from her. "Are you serious?" I whispered. "You think I took Mom's money?" David finally spoke, his voice stiff like it hurt to say the words. We didn't want to believe it. But the bank confirmed the withdrawals were done online. No one else had access. No one else. Except me. I looked at Mom. She didn't flinch, didn't nod, didn't shake her head. Just picked up her napkin and pressed it to her mouth like she might be sick. That's when it hit me. The pie, the traffic, the yearly ritual, none of it mattered. I wasn't their daughter anymore. I was a suspect. I set the pie down very gently on the edge of the counter. The tin clicked faintly against the granite. I picked up my coat from the back of the chair where I'd laid it earlier. I didn't speak. "You have until the end of the week," Dad said quietly behind me. "Then we go to the lawyer." I didn't cry in the car. I didn't scream or curse or hit the steering wheel like they do in movies. I just drove, coat still half fattened, the pie still sitting untouched on the kitchen counter behind me. The streets were quiet, lit by porch lights and paper turkeys taped to windows. It was Thanksgiving night, and the whole town smelled like gravy and cinnamon and peace. Except me. I checked into the same roadside inn I always passed on the way into town, but never had reason to stop at. The clerk didn't ask why I needed a room on a holiday. I was thankful for that small mercy. The room smelled like old carpet and microwave popcorn. I kicked off my boots and sat on the edge of the bed, hands still shaking. I was 34 years old, a senior forensic accountant, trusted with millions in corporate audits, and my own parents thought I'd stolen from them. The worst part, I wasn't even surprised. Not entirely. There had been signs, little things. The way Lisa would roll her eyes when Mom bragged about my promotions. The way Dad had once asked, "Don't you think it's time to settle down? You know, live a little like my career wasn't real life." Even last Christmas when I'd offered to cover the cost of a new roof for the house, David had muttered something about me trying to buy loyalty. I thought they were just joking. I thought we were still family. I lay back on the comforter and stared at the ceiling. I tried to replay the day Mom asked me to help with her bank account, every tab, every login, every password reset. Had I missed something? Had someone else seen the notebook we kept in the drawer? The drawer. It was always unlocked. Anyone could have opened it. Lisa still lived at home off and on depending on her situation. David had a key to the house. I'd been the one to walk Mom through the setup, yes, but that didn't make me the only one who knew. Still, fate believed it. believed I waited for mom to get sick just to take her money. $50,000. As if I needed it. As if I would ever. My phone buzzed. A text from Lisa. We didn't want it to come to this. But you made it hard to trust you. No happy Thanksgiving. No hope you're okay. Just that. As if I had broken something. As if I was the one who owed them an apology. I turned the phone face down. At work, I spend my days untangling hidden embezzlements, shell companies, and fake invoices. I know what it looks like when money disappears and when someone makes it look like someone else's fault. And right now, someone had made me their fall guy. I stared at the ceiling until the lights blurred. If they wanted to treat me like the criminal in the family, maybe it was time I started investigating like one. The next morning, I woke early. No alarm, just instinct. Years of chasing corporate fraud had taught me one thing. Money never really disappears, it just gets redirected. The trick is knowing where to look first and who benefits. I poured myself a cup of bitter wabi coffee and opened my laptop on the motel desk. My firm had recently been investigating a pattern of older financial abuse retirees with modest savings accounts that suddenly drained in 3 withdrawals, each just below the federal reporting limit. It wasn't just one bank, but one kept coming up more than the others. Greenwell Mutual, Mom's bank. I hadn't told my family that I was involved in the investigation. It was confidential technically, but I had clearance to review the transaction data internally, and I knew exactly who to ask. I sent a quick message to Theo, the compliance officer overseeing our current case. Just a name, a day range, and a location. Within an hour, I had what I needed: timestamps, withdrawal amounts, teller logs. 3 withdrawals from my mother's account spaced 5 days apart. First, $20,000. Second, $15,000. Third, $15,000. Each one done in person, not online. That was the first crack. They'd accused me of using online banking, said I was the only one with access. But if the money was taken in person, it wasn't me. I clicked the attached security footage link. Low resolution but clear enough. The first video loaded. Greenwell Mutual, October 10th. To 13 p.m. A young woman approached the counter nervously, glancing over her shoulder. Blonde ponytail. Gray hoodie. Large sunglasses. At first I thought maybe someone hired a proxy. A stranger paid to impersonate Mom. But then the girl stepped closer to the camera. Pulled down her mask to speak to the teller. Lisa. Even with the grainy feed, I knew that face. I babysat that face. Watched it blow out birthday candles and cry over failed boyfriends. She was fidgeting, tapping her fingers on the counter. She handed over what looked like Mom's ID and signed something. Her handwriting hadn't changed since high school. I leaned back in my chair, the motel light flickering above me. They hadn't just stolen the money. They'd planned it, thought through the timing. Waited until I helped Mom go digital, and then used that as cover to frame me. I opened the second video. October 15th, same branch. This time it was David. No disguise, no nervous energy. Calm, confident. He joked with the teller, signed off like he owned the account. Third video, Lisa again. Same hoodie, different sunglasses. The arrogance of it made my skin crawl. But there was still a missing piece. How had they gotten access to Mom's ID and account info? Then I remembered something. 2 weeks before I helped Mom set up the app, she'd had outpatient tests at the hospital. Nothing serious, just preliminary scans. Lisa had volunteered to stay overnight with her. Mom's purse had been with her the whole time. Her checkbook, her bank statements, her driver's license. That's where it started, but it didn't end there. I checked metadata from the account setup. The first login after I left town had come not from Mom's